Last Sunday afternoon, members of the Wichita, Kansas Police Department spent the afternoon at a picnic. It was a picnic with the community. It was a cookout that was planned with the local Black Lives Matter group. A woman whose kids were there remarked, she called the event historic. She said it was a bonding moment where the police saw my sons as children and my sons got to see them as people. It was a great first step, said the Chief Gordon Ramsey of the Wichita Police Department. Today's world is filled with all kinds of violence and adversity. We know that. So many people feel that through violence and suppression that our enemies will be broken and eliminated. Instead of showing love and compassion to our fellow man, so often people want to use muscle, nuclear weapons and weapons of war and weapons on the street, and really refuse to sit and talk to each other. The real question of humanity is, when will we learn to harmonize with one another and stop this eternal fighting? It's also quite evident that our country is broken into numerous factions: Republican and Democrat, black and white, progressive and conservative, unable to talk to each other, quick to blame one another for whatever tragedies we suffer. And as we play that blame game, the atrocities continue. Nice, Baton Rouge, Munich, Germany this week. It seems like there's a new one every few days. And all over our American cities, innocent people continue to die. Certainly the tragic events with our black brothers and sisters and our dedicated police are a stark reminder of how we fail to understand what Mother Teresa said so long ago. If we have no peace, it's because we've forgotten that we belong to each other. In the Old Testament, there was a practice of mourning in sackcloth and ashes. Perhaps as a country, what we need more than anything else is a time of silence, to grieve for all the lives lost and all the families affected by the violence of the past few weeks or months. Maybe through silence and tears, we might be reminded that despite our differences, we really do belong to each other. That first reading, Abraham. Abraham models how one man can show mercy and love to others. The people of Sodom and Gomorrah were not his people. They were a people of reputed violence, inhospitality, and debauchery. And this was very offensive to Abraham. And he could have easily taken pleasure in seeing God's justice done. Yet Abraham begged God to have mercy on them. Even though they were not his people, Abraham had a sense that he belonged to them and that they belonged to him. And for that reason, he felt compelled to intercede for them, to bargain for their lives. In Pope Francis's recent encyclical on care of God's creation, he wrote, "All it takes is one good person to restore hope." So each one of us today is challenged to be that one good person to restore the hope around us. And we can do this by, first of all, setting aside our own egotistic agendas. Secondly, dropping whatever label that we've chosen to hang our neck around. And thirdly, simply listening to one another. No matter what our backgrounds, we have something that we can learn from each other. If we can simply stop calling each other names and raising suspicions about each other's motives, we might actually come to understand what it is that unites us. It's so much greater than what divides us. Once we understand that we belong to each other, we won't need political parties or social agendas or race to define our identity, to define who we are. We will be able to see ourselves as children of God and come to understand that we are all brothers and sisters. Just as the violence of the past year has begun so often with one person inflicting harm on another, just so we need a revolution of compassion that can be initiated simply by one person deciding to listen to his or her neighbor without judging or condemning. Then we might experience healing, peace, and finally, judgment. The Wichita Eagle newspaper reported on another scene from that barbecue last Sunday afternoon. They wrote, "At one table, 3 men, a black man, a Hispanic man, and a white man, sat down with burgers next to Police Lieutenant Travis Rakestraw to share their ideas. It was the first time since 1992 that Jarvis Scott, the black man, said he'd sat down with a police officer, and the other 2 said it was their first time ever sitting down with an officer." Mother Teresa said it so well. If we have no peace, it's because we have forgotten that we belong to each other.